Hello. So today I'll be talking about the upcoming match of the TATA IPL that is going to be held between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Sunrisers Hyderabad at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata. It's the second home game for Kolkata Knight Riders, and both these teams actually were the finalists as well. As many of you would know of the TATA IPL 2024, and they've not had such a great start. Both teams have played 3 games. They've only won one and lost 2, and both the teams are coming from losses as well. Sunrisers are coming from 2 losses against Lucknow and Delhi, and KKR are coming from a loss against Mumbai at Wankhede. So it's an important clash. As I said, it's pretty early days, and early losses usually don't account for much. But again, if either of the team wins at Kolkata, then they can take that confidence leading up to the tournament further. So yeah, I'll just see what the 11 could be in this game, what the last 11 was, and if any changes, and overall preview or overlook of both the teams. Now I'll be starting with KKR. KKR played the last game at Wankhede, as I said, against Mumbai, and they went with only one change, that was Moeen Ali going out and Sunil Narayan coming in. So the top order basically was Sunil Narayan and it was not Angrikesh Raghuvanshi, Sunil Narayan and Quinton de Kock, who continued batting at the top, and Ajinkya Rahane at number 3 and Angrikesh Raghuvanshi at number 4. Raghuvanshi actually looked pretty solid at Mumbai, so I suppose that is going to be their batting order going ahead as well. At number 5, it was Venkatesh Iyer, who still hasn't had a good score to go with. And at number 6, they had Rinku Singh, then Russell and Ramandeep to follow. In the last match though, they brought in Manish Pandey as an impact player midway through the innings so that they could get a bit of runs instead of going for a bowler in the second innings, which is always not great, when you want to, have an extra bowler supposedly in their second innings. But, Pandey scored some boundaries and, got out. So let's see if they go. It's probably the only impact player thing that if they need a batting, Manish Pandey comes in. Otherwise, these are the batters that they have. The batters, de Kock has scored runs. He scored 97 against Rajasthan Royals. So other than that, only Rahane looked good in the first game, and other than, as I said, their retained players haven't performed well. Rinku Singh, Russell, Ramandeep actually looked good. As I said, Raghuvanshi and Ramandeep were 2 players who looked good at Wankhede. So yeah, I think they would, all the retained players, especially Russell and Rinku, would love to create an impact, and at home ground it would just be the cherry on cake. So this was the batting. Now coming to the bowling, there's Harshit Rana, there's Spencer Johnson, there's Vaibhav Arora. Even the bowlers haven't looked that great. Harshit Rana hasn't started pretty well. He was given the new ball in Wankhede, bowled a couple of good deliveries but couldn't get much wickets. So yeah, Spencer Johnson as well started off brilliantly at Mumbai, but he's not looked that lethal as well. So they'd love the fast bowling to come together and pick up wickets earlier. Vaibhav Arora had a good game against Rajasthan though, so he'll love to continue his power play bowling heroics. And then Sunil Narayan's already done. Then Varun Chakravarti and only Varun Chakravarti. So this is the overall team. Now I think there's no need for change as such, because the batting is quite solid. It's just if these batters can sort of come together and play good innings, especially Venkatesh here. He was bought for a huge amount of money, but hasn't repaid that faith, as a lot of people have said. But I think it takes just one good game for some players to sort of come back into form. So that's about KKR. Now I'll talk about Sunrisers Hyderabad. Now Sunrisers are coming on the back of 2 losses, but still the batting is quite destructive. Head and Abhishek at the top. Head has looked good, in each of his innings. He got a start against Lucknow as well, but got out to a pretty good delivery by Prince Yadav. And then at number 3, Ishan Kishan. Kishan had a pretty good first game, but then hasn't had that great 2 games. Got out for duck against Lucknow, and I think even against Delhi he did not spend time at the crease much. So Head, Abhishek and Ishan Kishan are the top 3. Then Nitish Kumar Reddy did not have a good last game as well, went out for 0. And then Klassen And Klaasen has looked good actually, in patches, in the first game as well. In the last game he was looking good, but unfortunately got out at the wrong time for the Sunrisers, as he couldn't, get past that 180 mark. So yeah, and then Aniket Verma, who's looked good, he had that reputation coming into the season, from Madhya Pradesh, being a big hitter, and he showcased some clean hitting against Delhi Capitals. So yeah, I think they would love for Aniket to continue his form, and then Abhinav Manor. I think had Abhinav scored some runs, it could have helped them as well. So they would want Abhinav to contribute a bit as well. Then there's Harshal Patel, Adam Zampa, Mohammad Shami. Simarjit Singh was there, but he did not play the game. So yeah, this is obviously their 11. Last game, they also made some changes in the impact play role. They brought in Vian Mulder midway throughout their innings as well to probably get some extra runs, but that did not fare well. That meant they could not play Zampa, in the second innings. But they had Zishan Ansari, who I think had a pretty good first game. Picked up 3 wickets as well. Went a bit expensive, gave away more than 40 runs, but his high arm action, which makes the ball, go to the batsman at a very fast pace. I think he bowled pretty well, picked up 3 wickets as well. So they'd hope Ansari to, continue his form, and if they can get Zampa in the 11 as well, that would be good. Because Mulder did not have that great a game, only bowled 1 over, and batting wise as well could not contribute much. So that is the only change that I feel. They'd be looking forward to the teams, and both teams actually had pretty aggressive starts last season. As I said, finalists in the last season played 3 times as well, and KKR won 3 times. So I think both the teams would want to replicate that aggressive intent. Sunrisers is known for that intent. There was a lot of talk of them hitting the 300, came close in the first game when they scored 286, but then in the next 2 games the batting is sort of been exposed against LSG and Delhi Capitals. So yeah, I think they would bank on the top order, especially Head and Abhishek. Abhishek hasn't fired yet, unfortunately got run out in the last game. So he'll be hungry to go and score runs. And yeah, I think the last year, I think both these sides played the first game as well, was high scoring, more than 200 runs were scored, and was a thriller as well. Harshit Rana bowled well in that game as well. KKR would love, I think there's been a lot of talk about the pitch at the home conditions. Ajinkya Rahane said that they would want some spin on the wicket, but the curator of in the ground suggested that he will prepare pitch as he wants to, as their team wants to. So it will be interesting what the pitch could be. Will it be spin friendly? Will it be the same as it was against RCB? More of pace friendly, which will probably aid the batters, and I think the Sunrisers batters would like that. But it is going to be interesting, as I said, what kind of pitch rolls out, and even if it's spinning, I think Sunrisers would then like both Ansari and Zampa to make full use of it if Ansari is played. And if, like I said, if it spins, then KKR spinners would like that as well. Chakravarti, who's come off a good Champions Trophy, did not have a good first game at home ground, but he would love to get back rolling at Kolkata. So yeah, that's the overall look in the teams. As I said, both teams would love to win. They would be hungry to get back to winning ways, whether it's a finalist of last year. So yeah, I think that is it from my end. I think just one thing I'd like to add from the Sunrisers point of view is that Cummins and Shami haven't looked that great. Cummins had a pretty good game against Lucknow, where in a 2-over spell he looked good, bowled some pretty good bouncers, dismissed Marsh and Pant, but other than that he's not looked good. Did not have that first good game as well, leaked away 60 runs, but if he performs well, then Sunrisers would then probably feel good, and he's a captain as well, so he can lead from the front, and had a pretty good season last time as well with pretty good smart bowling. So I think Cummins and Shami, Shami also hasn't looked that threatening as we've known to be Mohammad Shami as. But I think if both those two can sort of get rolling together, because Shami and Cummins are lethal duo, so for Sunrise, I think both of those players could, if they fire, then yeah, it's going to be a pretty good combination to watch. Sometimes Eden Garden's pitch does help pacers as well. Shami is back to his home ground as well, so let's see how that pans out overall yeah, I think both teams look pretty good. KKR would want the batters and the fast bowling to come to the party as well, especially the retained players like Russell, and Rinku Singh and Venkatesh Iyer. So yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting game. Now I think I'll talk about the matchups that I'm looking forward to watch. First matchup I think I'd like to see is between Travis Head and versus Varun Chakravarti. Sorry. I think it's an exciting matchup because if Sunrisers gets on a roll against the KKR Pacers, it won't be surprising to see Chakravarti or any spinner coming into the power play itself. Most possibly it's going to be Chakravarti because he has that mystery element and he's dismissed Travis Head in the Champions Trophy as well, in the semi-final. You saw how he looked good in that semi-final as well, and then Chakravarti was brought in and first ball straight away he picked up Travis Head. So yeah, that's one matchup that I'm looking forward to watch. Two players in pretty good form. The other matchup that I'm looking forward to watch is between Sunrisers spinner Zishan Ansari or Adam Zampa. I don't know if both will play. I think it's going to be based on the conditions. If it 8 spinners, then probably both will play. And so yeah, any spinner versus Andre Russell. Now Russell was dismissed by Suyash Sharma in the first home game of KKR. And he likes to take on spin as well if the ball is in his radar. So it will be interesting how Ansari bowls. He is known to bowl faster, and Zampa as well sometimes can bowl a bit fast, not that much, but yeah, I think that is a matchup though that I'm looking forward to watch. Just because he was dismissed once, and it's going to be interesting how Russell approaches spin as well. Even Santner troubled a bit as well at the Wankhede. So yeah. One is Varun Chakravarti versus Travis Head and Ansari or Zampa versus Russell. So these are the two matchups that I'm looking forward to watch. And yeah, it's going to be a mouth-watering clash. I feel both teams, as I said, would love to win. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this game. I think toss could again be a major factor if, like I said, if the Duke comes, then or if the pitch is similar to the first game, then toss might matter. But otherwise, let's see how it goes. Generally Eden Gardens is a good batting track, and the outfield is fast as well. So all in all, it's going to be a batter friendly wicket. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be exciting or interesting to see how the pitch goes. So yeah, that is it from my end for this clash between the Sunrisers and the Kolkata Knight Riders. Do let me know what are your thoughts about both the teams, or what should be the 11s, what matchups are you excited to watch about, and who do you think will win this match. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.